How's everybody doing today? Wanted to take a more in-depth look at the 10,000 step monastery. Again, it's only like 400 and some odd steps, so that's why that's in quotations, but 10,000 just sounds like a much cooler name. And let us know in the comments if you have an idea for a base in the future for Conan Exiles or any other base building game. We want to hear from you guys, so let us know. Wanted to do more of a guided tour this time that took you more in depth inside the actual monastery too. This features a lot of the elements from the Seekers of the Dawn DLC pack, which features the building style of the Yamatai Japanese. And so it's a really cool aesthetic. I think I used some Khitan, which is the Chinese stuff too, so a little bit different aesthetics here. This one though was a really fun build because of just the sheer size of it. It's 3 tiers essentially. It goes from the beach at the bottom where we just were, a middle ground where the monastery is, and then also this mountaintop temple to set that we set up. This one definitely took a lot of work. About 40 or 50 hours went into this build from start to finish just to kind of plan it out. This is the full front elevation of the monastery from this level. I love how this looks, and really I love how this entire pack looks. I wasn't expecting a lot of the building elements to be as detailed as they were, but more so the actual outfits and the armor and the weapons and things like that, gorgeous looking. And I really love the masks on some of these guards. We'll get a good look at that when I go inside this door here and look at the guard right here to the right. This is inside the monastery, which wasn't in the other video. I do set up these bases to be functional, not just aesthetic. So here's the crafting, one of the 2 crafting areas. That one's mainly for carpentry. This one is for your blacksmithing. Let's go out into the monastery courtyard. A lot of just miscellaneous stuff. The space is so big that actually there's pieces of it that render after you look at them, and that's why you saw that little flash of purple. That's the Unreal Engine pre-render. In here is the kitchen where we got all that cool stuff. This place is right over Buccaneer's Bay. That's what's right down there is Buccaneer's Bay. Never actually built a base here, so I always wanted to check it out. One thing that you are going to notice, the grass down here. I had some of my settings low while I was doing the build, and I didn't realize that the grass was poking through. There's the Alchemy Area with all of the amazing stuff. Was able to fit a trade alchemist bench inside of this build, which I do always love. This is the little treasure area that I always set up in every single one of these bases. This actually, I really want to highlight are these bay windows. I've never put bay windows in bases before, but with this aesthetic, I kind of wanted to find a way to make it less boxy because a lot of monasteries just kind of have that boxy look to it. And so adding the roofs around the edge required these little port windows, or bay windows, if you will. And I thought that was just a real nice look. I'm going to incorporate that in a few other bases in the future here. These other miscellaneous rooms are just kind of lounge type rooms. Again, this is more of a monastery look to it, but I mean, really it can be whatever kind of base we want it to be. So I put a tavern in it. And so this is of course the tavern. You get a good look at some of the different outfits in here. This is the bedroom that I set up for myself to kind of save everything, save all of the stuff that I had on my character. In here is the Golem workstation and some other just miscellaneous storage. This next room though, probably my favorite room, I set up a little classroom, a little lecture hall. I figure it's a monastery. These people are trying to learn some stuff, right? So anyway, let's keep going. Back at the tavern, everything is kind of built circular, so that way you can kind of just run circular around the whole building and see every single thing. If you notice, I'm not going out on any of the balconies here. We're going to go out on this one just because this one has all the planting stuff here. Didn't put any plants in this one. I kind of wish that I did. It would have really filled out this balcony a little bit more. Let's go check out the top of the monastery. This doesn't have that much to it. It's just kind of a nice lookout area. Put one of those strategy tables up here and give you a nice view of the surrounding area in 360. But we still have that entire mountain to climb. So let's get back to it and get down below. So it won't take us that long to get back down. I'm going to go back through the whole base though, instead of just jumping off the side here. I will say that things are a little tightly cramped inside some of these spaces. Getting around some of the furniture is a little bit of a hassle. And so I wish I made it just a touch bigger, which is a little ridiculous to say, but at the same time, that's kind of where my head's at with this one. I could have used a little bit more space inside. This little area was how I connected the mountain to the monastery. I unfortunately didn't think about doing the mountain until after I had already built the monastery, and I figured, you know what, let's just add more to it. So this was the final portion of the build. Little archery setup over here just to kind of fill some of the extra space here and make it a little more built out. Start climbing up some of these stairs to go up the mountain. This area is where I have all of my thralls and sacrificial stone and stuff like that. A little bit of storage up here too. But this is just kind of as small as it can be because I didn't really want to use the big building pieces like the animal pens and the stables and vault and stuff like that. Going up the stairs, I put in the fly-through of this base that this was actually the most tricky part to construct. It is the most tricky part of this base to construct, to have it look good in the process, and every single one of these stairs kind of was a little bit of a pain to put up, and that's why you see so much of the rocks shining through it. I love that you can kind of build anywhere in Conan, but there are some limitations to that just aesthetically, and that was one of them. And so this was kind of a little bit of a pain to put together, but it was definitely worth it in my mind, because once you get up to the top of the mountain here, we'll check out this little side area first. Yeah, little teleportation stones. But once you get up to the top, this is the temple to Set. Probably one of just the coolest looking temples in the game, in my opinion. I thought it worked out really well just to match the aesthetic of what I was trying to go for here with this monastery look and feel. Let's do another fly through kind of over the entire base, but this time I'm going to go a little bit on the other side here so you can see it from a different angle. Again, it was a big build to do, but it was definitely a fun one to do. It's like the Black Ice Mountain Fortress. Both have been really fun builds, but different in their own way. Currently working on another one right now. Don't want to give too many details of what that one is. It's around the same size as the Black Ice Fortress. This one is definitely the biggest build that we have done to date, but you know, that might change if we get some good inspiration or ideas. So as always, let us know in the comments what you want us to create in these games. Use some of the packs that you may not have, or see some of the DLCs that you may not have, and what building capabilities you have in those. Drop a like and a subscribe if you like this type of content. We love putting it together for you guys. Love building these bases and kind of showing the full extent of base building games and these awesome mega bases. Thank you guys for checking this one out, and we'll see you again soon.